My exhaust is falling apart, and we're going to fix that today. I'm holding my exhaust tip because somehow the collar that was clamped onto the pipe and the tack weld both failed to hold this to the exhaust pipe. Now, I already kind of felt meh about sending the exhaust through the back of the car. Now, I do understand that I did do it, and there was one good benefit for it. Is one, it kind of lessened the amount of engine noise and volume that you got because it was exiting out the rear. But life was so much simpler when it was a side exit exhaust. So today that's what we're going to do. We're going to take off the exhaust piping that's under there. We're probably going to recycle the parts because all I probably need is probably 190 to be able to go, you know, straight from the H pipe that's under there and then just go to the side. So I feel like it's going to be a fairly simple process. We have extra piping in the corner. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to back the car up just a little bit, lift it up in the air so that we can crawl underneath it, and we're going to unbolt the back half of the exhaust. I guess you could say the rear part of the exhaust. We're going to unbolt that and remove just the back part. The H pipe is probably going to just stay in the car. But yeah, I just kind of also need some room right in front of the car so I can get to the welding equipment and things like that. That's not the right size. Oh, got it. I think. Oh, look at that. Forgot I welded these. All right, well, gotta get the grinder. Oh man, I'm looking at it and it looks like it's too close to the fucking drive shaft. I don't want to cut the drive shaft or even touch the drive shaft. All right, whole exhaust, come on. So H pipe, might go ahead and bolt that one back up, put it in place because there's going to be no changes to that. I shortened these little lengths, that way when I put these 90s that I had found on the ends right here, it will, or I can at least have a little bit more control of the length for how far back this kind of comes, so that it exits on the right, in the right spot. These guys I found, which I could cut this up, but not if I have these right here. This looks like this actually was a part of the same U-bend. It was just over there. And I got a little bit of a leg. I'll keep this on here because I pretty much have to weld on a new piece of pipe on that end. So, trying to think. Yeah. So let's probably go ahead, best to bolt up that H pipe. I can use the clamps to kind of put these guys in place. Maybe grab the jack over there to kind of hold them up, and you know, kind of help support the weight, and then start planning out where these 90s and where it's going to exit in this vicinity. All right, so here's how things are working out. So bolted up the H pipe, okay, and then we slid in that little mid piece, which is going to have the straight piece with the muffler. And now basically this actually works out perfect placement. That's okay, so don't worry, those mufflers are just sagging a little. We will have those buttoned up whenever they get those clamps put on there. And also there's a place where we have a hanger for a support all that weight. And then this guy, we're going to angle it. We're going to angle it so that it goes right there. And I got an extension piece. So this essentially, essentially work out like that. Essentially, it's going to come right behind that subframe. Boom, right here in front of the tire. We're gonna make sure we pick it up though, and then we will cut it to an appropriate length. That way, we it looks snazzy. And we'll just make sure that's all the way down and looking level, and that'll be good. I'm just gonna go ahead and weld these 90 pieces together, and the straight runs that basically meet from muffler to the outside of the car. I'm gonna go ahead and weld those sections up. That way we just have the one weld to go here. And matter of fact, now that I think about it, I could probably make that weld and then just get the other piece of pipe from out from underneath the car and just make the weld, because it's just an L piece. And we're not welding it onto the H pipe. We're just going to use that clamp so we could rotate it. Oh yeah, this is gonna be easy. Got the one done. Go ahead and get the other. Got one side, other side. Let me go get underneath the car and pull those mufflers back out, and we're gonna weld her all on up. Alright, so basically slipped it back on. It's in place where it's going to go. Now, is there a science to what I'm going to do to try and mark this in the proper placement? Not really. we're just gonna try and get as even as possible. Want it lined up with this guy. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe. To make sure we have a nice square cut. Alright, so keep in mind when we drop this thing to the ground, the exhaust hangers are going to support it and kind of pick it up a little bit. So yeah, we'll pick that up. We'll make sure that gets picked up for sure, and then because we got plenty of space to like pull it up closer to the drive shaft. Yeah, we'll be fine. We will be fine. I will say this, right now where it's sitting it's not as low as the spot at the front of the exhaust where it drags like on like if I high side the car. So we're good. This will be fine. We're gonna have good clearance. All right, so exhaust is pretty much buttoned up. Okay, driver side, passenger side, and I will explain what I got going on down here. So basically, we just shortened the muffler so it's a little closer to the engine. That was a pretty easy fix. Then we found these 90s. They're gonna go off. We're gonna clear the ladder bar. We got a nice solid exhaust hanger right there that's not gonna go anywhere. So that's not gonna go anywhere. This one's not gonna go anywhere. So I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. So now let's go crank this thing up. Hear what a cold start sounds like with side pipes. So no more of this show car stuff. Who needs exhaust tips? Okay, we track car. Okay, now we got the raw, pipe straight out the side, both sides. Yeah, one, we saved some weight because we eliminated some piping. And we simplified the exhaust. We kept the muffler, so we're still, so that way we maintain the status of an adult Coyote owner. It's not straight pipe, it's not crazy rasp. I think it sounds the same, it's just coming from a different direction. So I think we've preserved that nice sound that comes from here, and we don't have to worry about one of these falling off again. So, yeah. So just recapping like the process, basically we took off the back half of the exhaust. We shortened that piping that kind of goes from H pipe to muffler. So it tucked it a little bit in. That way it was an immediate 90 off the muffler and toward the outside of the car. Then we basically positioned it where we're going to have some good ground clearance. And we took, what's that? Kind of like this guy right here. This has some flex, so it's not going to crack, but this is pretty rigid. I took a bolt that kind of fit one of these holes. I welded it to the side of the frame, and so basically this part just welds to the side of the exhaust pipe, and you can just bolt that guy up there. And that's it. That's pretty much what we just did with the exhaust, because I don't know about you. I'd feel terrible if like a piece of of one of those, it wasn't particularly a high-end exhaust tip, because if it was, it probably wouldn't be a clamp bolt-on tip that goes onto the pipe. It would be welded to the exhaust system. So we've eliminated that, and we're gonna go, I guess you could say that's more of a functional look or aspect to it. So I'm happy you guys watch. We, had an issue here, and we've very quickly remedied the issue with a very simple and cost-effective, I would say, solution. It's all 3-inch piping still. So, yeah, and the sound was preserved. That's important. I'm so glad because I got millions of views on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok of the exhaust note or the raw exhaust note videos from this thing, and it's very clear that you guys really like the exhaust. So I made sure to keep it. Now, I appreciate you guys watching. Go ahead and hit the like button. Comment down below your thoughts. Should I have done something different? Do you have questions of how I did a certain thing? Do you want to know what did I use to make my exhaust system? Or or if there's any type of lingering queries you may have. And if it's your first time here, why don't you think about subscribing, and I will see you later.